Hey guys, it is Sonia, and I am back today. We are going to cover the second card in the deck. It is actually labeled as the 1. Do you see the Roman numeral at the top right there? Yesterday, we started with the Fool, which I am trying to dig out here real quick because it's interesting to note that once you start to see the symbols, you recognize the patterns and how the tarot, the journey, how one thing kind of carries over to the next card. So when you understand one card and the symbols that it brings, it makes it easier to understand the ones that follow. So yesterday, the Fool is on the journey. It is going. The figure is going. So we have here the Fool. We talked about yesterday. Go back and watch that one if you missed it. And the next one is the Magician. So 0 on limitless possibilities, right? That egg is about that 0. The cosmic egg is about the crack and new life, right? We noticed all the white in the background. The sun is white, full of potential. We said like a blank canvas, ready for something to be painted onto it. Just literally, just the potential for something. And here we enter the Magician, all right? So at this point, we talked about the backpack and what you're carrying in there yesterday. Spoiler alert, it was all the things that you're laying out on the table today. So we've taken the things now, we've sat down here at this table in card number 2, which is technically 1 because it starts with 0. The first thing you want to think about with the 1 is that it looks like, literally, it looks like an I, as in I am, you know, it's me, it's singular, it's one person. And this card is all about basically now harnessing that potential that you have inside of you and then beginning the journey, unpacking the backpack, looking at all the skill set that you have in front of you. And now you are manifesting, you are bringing things into being. I am now doing it. Okay. This was my potential. This is me in action. All right. And now here I am. You can see I've got my wand up here. I've got my table of all my tools, all my suits in the actual tarot deck. So I started to say about how the sun in the background is white, right? Depicted white here. We talked about that yesterday. Just blank canvas, such clarity. I mean, there's nothing on here. It is just ready. It is ripe for the harvest of whatever it is that you want to manifest and work into, right? Bring your life into and work towards. So here we are. We're still seeing some of that white, right? We're seeing the figure here, and he is cloaked with a white undergarment. He's wearing a white band around his head. Think about that like a sweatband, like you'd see an athlete that was, maybe they've got they wear a sweatband and so they can stay focused and they keep their hair out of their eyes and, no sweat's going to get in. It's going to cloud their eyesight, right? It's just a part of focus. You want to think about this the same sort of way. The clarity band, full focus, nothing is getting in the way here. The white cloaking robe that we have on here, the figure has on, again, clarity, just on limitless potential. It's not even like bothered with the energies, the experiences of yesterday or the future. It is just now, okay? It is now, and it's not dirtied. It is fresh. It's ready to go, okay? So again, the card of manifestation where we're literally going, I'm going to make it happen. I am going to make it happen. And so we have that red cloak, that robe that goes over the inner robe. It's literally blood red. It's red. And what we've been talking about, how the color magic of red, just like it looks like the color literally of blood, red blood, it's vitality, it is courage, it is determination, it's fire, it's absolute fire energy, right? So here we are cloaking ourselves, we are blank, we are ready to move forward, and now we've draped over ourselves that red outer as well, over ourselves. So again, we're pouring that energy over ourselves for that fresh new start. We see tons of lilies and roses, again, white and red. We've talked about white. Wow, down here in the bottom, just really grounding ourselves, ready to go, ready to grow. And then we have all the blooming that's happening here with the red roses. I love this card too because the figure walks through quite literally an arch of roses. And we know roses, the symbolism of growth and something blooming. But here is the magician walking through an arch. And, when I think about arches, it's just that, it's there. It's the promise of something beautiful blooming in your future as you begin the work of doing it. You begin that journey of doing it. But when you think about like archways, you might see them at a wedding, right? Wow, you walk through the archway, an entrance happens literally into a whole new season of life, or graduation, or even maybe you have a beautiful garden out back of your house and you see an archway and, as part of your gardening landscaping, once the person walks through that archway, it's a whole other experience that's waiting for them. And so that's how I like to think about this archway up here and the symbolism of just all that promised, because right now, this is the first card. We're beginning to work on it, but it's the promise that if we put the work into something, that boy, it can bloom, right? And if we really gain focus. So we see the magician here. He's got his hand up, the figure with the wand up towards the sky. And if you ever literally had an idea where you go, I have an idea. I just had an epiphany. That's kind of like what he's doing here, right? He's holding it up like up here, because that is where this is related to the element of air. And this is where he's kind of pulling down. That wand is double tipped. So it's pulling down, it's going down. And this symbolizes, if you've ever heard the saying, as above, so below. But it's the linking and the mirror and the connection and the relationship of the divine, of spiritual to physical, right? And sometimes, actually, it always starts, right? We get the idea in our brain before we bring it to the physical. We bring it to the forefront and we make it happen. So here is somebody drawing down just that wisdom, that idea, that epiphany, that hit, that hunch of they're ready to go and make something happen, right? We've got the wand that's with a tip pointing up, pointing down, pulling down. Same thing. Look at the hand over here, right? So we've got one hand up to the sky, one hand grounding down, right? As above, so below, right? As I think it, I'm going to manifest and make it happen here in the physical world. I gleam it from the spiritual side. I pull down from divine wisdom, and now I'm going to work with it, and I'm literally going to happen, all right? I have an epiphany, and I'm going to do this. So it's the same sort of idea. I have an idea and now I'm going to journal, because that's how you take something from the thought process, from the air, and you begin to make it physical. So that's the idea of, you gather, so you're pulling in something and now you're putting something out into your physical world. And here are all your tools. So you've got your cups. Well, you're going to need to feel. You're going to need some emotions, right? You got your pentagram right here. We talked about how last week about the pentacles are the coins. They're the physical things, the resources. You're going to need physical stuff. You got your sword, which is all about the intellect, the mind. That's the clarity of the mind. You're going to need to have some really good swords to really make some good decisions, right? And then you've got your wand, which is all related to your internal fire. So to think about right here, the magician, just like if you went into somebody who was about to, like a carpenter, and you went into their workshop, they're going to lay out their tools, right, that they need for this journey. And they're like, okay, I'm going to need my hammer. I'm going to need my saw. I'm going to need my measuring tape. So these are the tools that you need at any given point as you move forward, literally as a human. That's all part of us. And we have it every day inside of us. It is always with us right there for the journey ahead. So this card, the magician, what do you want to do with it, right? Basically, yeah, the world is yours. What do you want to do with it? I also love that two other things I'll leave you guys with. There's so much symbolism in these cards. If you are enjoying hanging out with me on the daily, come back, check regularly on our socials as we continue through all the cards. Also, go to cauldronandthorn.com and get on our email list, because if you enjoy how I teach and then you enjoy these daily chats, I think you might want to stay in contact, because I've got something special coming up, something that we are working on. So two other things I'm going to leave you with, okay? Because there's just so much here that I can get into. But around his waist, did you notice that he has a snake, okay? And it's called a Ouroboros. It's basically one of the oldest, the Ouroboros. That's it, Ouroboros. I know it's kind of funny. Just say snake, okay? It's easier. But basically it's a serpent, and it's one of the oldest symbols that we have in humanity. And it's a lot of places if you look back into old symbolism. And so, of course, we know the cards are full of old symbolism. So we have that snake, we have that serpent, okay? It makes a complete serpent circle around the figure's waist. And so you want to think about this. It basically says that, energy just continues, right? And think about the seasons is the best way to describe this. How while things transform and it renews, it never stops, right? So we go in from spring to summer to fall to winter, and that cycle continues and continues and continues, right? It's kind of like when we talked about the Fool and the Zero and the continuous circle of life, right? That it never stops. And so inside the Magician it's just pointing to that we always have a source of energy within us. We sustain ourselves, we renew ourselves, and at any given point, we can start this process of manifesting something new in our lives, right? We always have a fresh new start, and we always have the energy within us and the tools within us to pull from it to make something happen. So I think that's really, really beautiful. And it's just something hidden around the Magician's waist, that snake. And if you want to think about a snake and how we know it in present time, if you would had to ask somebody, what's the meaning of a snake? Well, typically it's about rebirth, right? Shedding of old ways. It's just, it's a new cycle beginning. So just think about it from that perspective to help you remember when this card comes up. But here is somebody that literally at any point decides to clear the table, right? Quite literally. Take everything off, start again with whatever it is that they need, and begin to build. This card says, we're building it. We're building it, baby. And then at the very top as well, we have the infinity symbol, and this goes on and on and on. And so you think about how that symbol we even see in jewelry today, and there's times where that symbol might become a very popular piece of jewelry for couples to give to one another, because my love for you is infinity. There is no beginning and no end. It just keeps going. The cycle keeps going and going, right? And so when you think about all the power of the Magician, we have that power inside of us. It never stops. So again, like that snake, like that cycle, it just goes and goes, never stops. The circuit is always going. And also to remind ourselves that as we do, we are the magician of our lives, right? This is a power that we hold. That at any given point, at any given day, the spell over our mind is the greatest spell of all, right? Because we can make it a good day or we can make it a bad day. So we have so much power literally in our head, in our mind, right? So here's somebody with a clear band for clear focus for about what they're about to do. And you know what? They can restart as many times as they need. They have the power within them. And they have everything they need within them to be able to grow and bloom and build something new. So when I see this card come up, I know that you're onto some good things, that you're really manifesting some beautiful things, that you've already had the breakthrough of what you need to do. And now you're building it. You're on your way. You're manifesting it, right? You've laid it out on the table. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So that's pretty cool. Let me know if you enjoyed this chat and if you had a few breakthroughs, you maybe learned a few symbols. The amount of knowledge that are inside these cards is amazing. And then once you start to know, when this card comes up, even if you just remember a couple things that I share with you on the daily, that's going to really help you, because it's going to speak volumes about the card. And then picture the person you're reading for, yourself included inside that card. And that is, that card relating to that energy, and it can really tell a story. A picture is worth 1,000 words. All right, friends, I will see you again real soon. Thank you for joining. Be sure to subscribe if you love my chats, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye.